Welcome to this explainer. As we get older, we're constantly being told what we need to give up. The rich foods, the sweet treats, those little daily indulgences. We're always warned that they just aren't good for our hearts anymore. Well, today, we're diving into something that's going to bring a whole lot of joy back into your routine. We are unlocking the science of dark chocolate. It turns out that this beloved sweet treat might actually be a joyful, science-backed prescription for your cardiovascular health and longevity. So, could your absolute favorite sweet treat really protect your heart? For decades, we've been told that all chocolate is just unhealthy junk food, right? It's been labeled a guilty pleasure that ruins our teeth, adds to our waistlines, and wreaks havoc on our cardiovascular system. We've basically been taught to avoid it entirely, especially as we focus more carefully on our heart health in our senior years. But what if that strict avoidance has been a total mistake? The scientific data completely flips that old myth on its head, revealing that the right kind of chocolate is actually a powerful medicine. In today's explainer, we'll uncover a delicious secret to longevity. Then we'll look at how cocoa impacts your blood pressure, helps manage your cholesterol, and improves insulin sensitivity. Finally, we'll cover exactly how to choose the right chocolate at the store and build a healthy daily cocoa routine. Let's kick things off with Section 1, a delicious medical secret. Let's look at a truly fascinating case of extreme longevity. Have you heard of Jean Calment? She was a famously long-lived woman who reached the unbelievable age of 122 years old. Now, what was her secret to such a long life? Well, alongside some pretty robust genetics, her documented diet included eating nearly a kilogram of chocolate every single week. Now, obviously, nobody is suggesting we eat quite that much. But her extraordinary lifespan points to something researchers have since confirmed. Cocoa, in its purest, most concentrated forms, is absolutely packed with potent plant compounds called flavonols. These flavonols are kind of like a magic anti-aging ingredient. They're deeply intertwined with cellular health and resilience, proving that cocoa is way more than just a piece of candy. Moving right along to Section 2, lowering your blood pressure. High blood pressure is absolutely one of the most common and, frankly, concerning challenges we face as we age. It happens when our blood vessels become stiff, rigid, or narrowed over time. But here is where those cocoa flavonols swoop in to work their magic. They act as the ultimate vascular scavengers. When you eat high-quality dark chocolate, these flavonols actually stimulate the lining of your arteries to produce something called nitric oxide. You can think of nitric oxide as a gentle little chemical messenger that tells the tiny muscles around your blood vessels to just relax. And when those vessels relax and widen, your blood flows so much more easily and the pressure on your arterial walls drops. It is a brilliant, natural dietary mechanism to help manage your blood pressure safely. Next up is Section 3, managing your cholesterol. Look, a lot of us worry that because chocolate contains fat, it's just inevitably going to clog our arteries. But the medical data actually tells a much more nuanced story. It turns out that dark chocolate balances and clears your arteries. How? Well, the specific antioxidants found in dark chocolate actively protect your arteries by preventing a process called oxidation. To understand oxidation, just picture what happens to a piece of metal left out in the rain. It rusts, right? A very similar rusting process happens inside our bodies to our bad LDL cholesterol. Oxidized bad cholesterol is what becomes sticky, clinging to your artery walls and causing those dangerous blockages. But the antioxidants in dark chocolate act as a biological rust-proofer for your arteries. They literally stop that bad cholesterol from oxidizing in the first place, helping to keep your arterial pathways nice and clear. Now, let's dive into Section 4, improving insulin sensitivity. Managing our blood sugar is absolutely crucial for maintaining our energy levels and avoiding that heavy fatigue that can sometimes sneak up on us as we get older. You can think of insulin sensitivity as how easily your cells unlock their doors to let blood sugar inside for energy. Imagine insulin as a set of keys, and your body's cells all have doors. As the years go by, sometimes those locks get a little rusty. Doctors call this insulin resistance. When the doors won't open easily, the sugar stays trapped in your bloodstream, which is definitely dangerous. But research shows that the compounds in dark chocolate actively oil those locks. They enhance your insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells can smoothly turn the keys, unlock their doors, and let that blood sugar inside to be burned as clean energy. It's an absolute game changer for preventing blood sugar spikes and crashes. All right, let's get practical with Section 5, choosing the right chocolate. So the science is incredibly promising, but stepping into the grocery store candy aisle can be super overwhelming. Here is the golden rule. You absolutely must avoid standard sugary milk chocolate. It is packed with dairy and refined sugars that drive up inflammation and completely wipe out any of the heart benefits we just talked about. Instead, your target is dark chocolate that contains 70% cocoa or higher. This is the real medicinal, heart-protecting food. The higher that cocoa percentage goes, the more of those protective flavonoids and antioxidants you're actually putting into your body. To really maximize the benefits, many longevity and health experts highly recommend aiming for a breakdown of 85% cocoa and just 15% sugar and dairy. At this 85% level, you're getting a massive, concentrated dose of those vascular scavengers with only a tiny fraction of sugar left over. Now, a quick heads up on the taste. If you're used to super sweet milk chocolate, 85% cocoa is going to taste noticeably bitter at first. The trick is to not chew it quickly. Just let a small square melt slowly on your tongue. As it melts, it will unlock these deep, rich, earthy flavors that become incredibly satisfying once your palate adjusts. Before you rush out to the store, let's go over 3 simple rules to keep in mind. First, always check that cocoa percentage on the label, aiming for 85% if you can. Second, and this is a really vital safety warning for us older adults, research the brand for safety. Because of the soil that cocoa is grown in, some lower quality dark chocolates have been found to contain concerning levels of heavy metals, specifically cadmium and lead. Since our aging bodies are particularly sensitive to these, you want to protect yourself by looking for transparent brands. Look for certifications or third-party lab tests that prove their chocolate is pure. And third, watch your daily portion. Because it is so concentrated, you literally only need a little bit to reap all the benefits. Which brings us to our final part, Section 6, your daily cocoa routine. When you choose the right brand and eat it in moderation, we're talking just 1 or 2 small squares a day, dark chocolate is far from a medical chore. It becomes a joyful piece of your health puzzle. Taking a quiet moment in the afternoon to sit with a square of dark chocolate and a warm cup of green tea or decaf coffee isn't just physically good for your heart. It's a beautiful mindfulness practice. It gives you a moment of calm and pleasure, which we all know is absolutely crucial for our mental and emotional health as we navigate the aging process. Always remember, medicine doesn't always have to taste bitter. Sometimes the absolute best thing you can do to lower your blood pressure, clear your cholesterol, and manage your blood sugar comes wrapped in foil. Taking care of your body as you age shouldn't just be about restriction and giving things up. It should be filled with joy and delicious, high-quality foods. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Stay healthy, be sure to savor those little moments of joy, and I'll catch you next time.